Oh, sorry, that's Java Sadi. He needs no introduction.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know there's a radio journalist in the house because he's the only one who's prepared. The rest of us are going to wing it. But I'd like to take some points from my two colleagues here. One, what's the choice, BN or Pakatan Rakyat? I think the clarity is for Barisan Nasional is you choose this one guy racing in 221 seats. His name is Najib Razak. Or do you choose a guy who's been in the slammer, has a black eye, you can throw as many sex cases against him, and he's still at the gates of Putrajaya, his hand around your neck and saying, I'm going to take over now. So that is basically the choice for you. Sharat Kutan is right, no difference in policy. If you look at both their manifestos, 14% of Barisan's manifesto is new. The only good thing about Pakatan's manifesto is cheap cars. Car sales have been down 30% in March because everyone is waiting for a cheap car. Truth of the matter is, you're not going to get a cheap car either way, right? So what that tells you is the economy. The dollars that you earn, sorry, the ringgit that you earn, which is not worth a lot of dollars, what does it do for you? You can't, you go for any housing project launch, it's sold out. Then you wait for the secondary market. You think your taxes help? No. All of you are angry, middle class. You're angry, you pay tax, you go to a private hospital, you scrounge every cent you can and you send your kids to private schools because the government schools that you went the last time are crap. The teachers can't speak English, the syllabus is lousy, and you get angry. So we have middle class anger. Am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was telling my friend down there that the middle class anger is twofold. One is anger at the government because you make so much, and you should be grateful to the government. And you say, no, I've done it all on my own. And you pay your taxes, and you get crappy roads, and announcements of more toll plazas and more toll roads, and anything else that will cost you money. And then your anger is at the rural folks, because they still keep voting in Barisan Nasional. Am I right? Yeah. Okay, here's where you're wrong. The rural folks are actually richer than you. Thanks to the commodities boom, they actually make a lot more money than you. They have to employ Banglas, Indonesians, because their children won't touch the ground. The children are here, they're the urban poor. An urban poor person earns 4,000 ringgit. You know, I think most of us here would have had parents who earned 2,000 ringgit in 1974, who could afford a Volvo, a Mercedes, 2 houses, and still send you to a university without government scholarship. Am I right? Anyone here who had parents whose 4-figure salary was maybe 2,000-3,000, doctor, engineer, and all that, right? And now, if you earn that much, you qualify for affordable housing in Labu. You know, and you think about it, after you calculate everything, you're still out of pocket. Right? So you get angry at this government for creating so many agencies, all kinds of stuff just to assuage you so that they get your vote. Okay? This is Najib Razak's fantastic. I must say, really smart. What he has done is he's got everyone figured out. What do you want? Punjabi? 65,000 Punjabis in Malaysia, according to my friend H. They got 4 million ringgit 2 weeks ago. Right? If there were 4 Irishmen who were Malaysians, our Prime Minister would have tapped beer for them on St. Patrick's Day. I kid you not. Right? So he's got everybody in their silos, and you want 1,000 bucks? You are a government servant, you work in telecom, I'll give you 500 bucks. I was with a bunch of really rich men last night, coughing 16-year-old and 25-year-old whiskeys, and one of them had this question. He said, you know, right, because of corporate governance, the Prime Minister can't actually announce bonuses for GLCs because those are emoluments and all that. That's a budget. Only the board of directors can do that. I said, it's probably in some budget somewhere. But the point is, people are angry because he's doing all this because he knows your weak point, right? On the flip side, because you're so angry with him, you say, let's go to Pakatan Raya. You know, and Sharat is right, the clarity, they're no different. You know, PAS, I have a lot of friends in PAS. I told them, if you take power, give me 24 hours. I have a visa, I have a passport, I have flight tickets, I need to get out of this country. Right? Because they're going to chop off my hands. But rest assured, I just wrote about it today, the Hudud issue has been around for 23 years, since 1990, when PAS took Kelantan. You're never ever going to see a Malaysian who will have his hands chopped off. In the great fear that you have your hands chopped off, you will not steal. The only ones who will steal are still the civil servants, the politicians, who take the cream off the top in any project. Right? So that's what's going to happen. But you see, Sharat was just on the ball saying, we really have no choice. The choice really is Najib Razak or Anwar Ibrahim. The real issue of the day is that I have friends here who covered the last elections with me, who have covered Reformasi with me in 1998. They will tell you the energy of the 18 days when Anwar was just sacked until the day he was arrested. And for those who remember those days, what happened was in 1999, Terengganu fell. Terengganu did not fall because of Anwar Ibrahim. He was just one of the causes. The real cause was they had a Menteri Besar for 25 years, from 1974. In our 1974 elections, Wan Mokhtar became the Chief Minister of Terengganu State. He got kicked out in 1999. In 1974, Dato' Yap Pian Hon was elected to the Sedang State Assembly, a state seat for the Selangor State Assembly. Right? In 1975, his current opponent, Ong Kian Min, was born. Right? So, Dato' Yap Pian Hon is our transformative candidate. Right? Really, the issue of the day in this election, if you're asking me, that's why I'm here, is do we want to rely on our past leaders who think they know best for our future? That really is the question. Right? And once you know the answer to that, Miss Hartini down there says, her heart says one thing, her mind says something else. Right? At the end of it, all of us here in Bangsa, nobody's having wine. Middle class Malaysia, go for Chama, must have wine. In an aircon environment, and try and figure out whether the squid ink pasta is really good as Ed says it is. Right? Wagyu, wine, and whining, that's what we're doing. So we matter to a certain extent, we are in urban seats. The guys who really matter are in the rural seats. Right? So we're angry at them because they don't see what we see. But hang on a minute, have any of you been to the poorest parts of Sabah or Sarawak or Sungkai or at Post Slim? Have you ever been there to know that they know nobody else except Daching? Because the Daching guy brings them everything. Right? The people in Sarawak want their chief minister to drive a Rolls Royce because he's their king. They know no one else. You know, you have to tell them, look mate, there is a choice. They say, what choice? In Sabah, there was a ceramah by some DAP chaps from Peninsula, and they were saying about all the Bersih rallies and how they were water bombed by water cannons. So one guy in that ceramah asked, what's a water cannon? There are no water cannons in Sabah. They only have fire brigade and fire trucks, which can also be used for the same purpose. Right? So they don't understand because their needs are different. They have economic needs. They earn 500 bucks a month. They actually don't need money, but they earn that much. They live in little huts with paper, cardboard, and all that. So they don't see what we see. What we see is corruption, waste, a government that has lost its moral center. We see that because we discuss it. And Sharat is wrong that, oh, you know, newspapers matter. No, all of you are here today because of Facebook and word of mouth. None of these events were publicized in any newspaper. Right? You are here today because of your handphone, your Facebook account. Right? So we know the difference because we share our conversations among ourselves, not the star. So he's right, the paper doesn't, media doesn't matter. Right? We are here because we get angry when we discuss, oh, you know, I heard this guy got this, got that. Right? The issue is our anger. our middle class anger and what are we going to do with it? Are we going to throw out this government because we're so angry with them and outsource all our desires and our anger to another government? And then think, hang on a minute, I have the power. If they don't perform in the next 5 years, I'll throw them out. Right? So that is one thing you have to consider. The other thing you have to consider is what are your children going to have? I have no kids. I'm a smart guy. Don't have kids in Malaysia. Okay? Don't ever. I live in Thailand. Pretty good. But not in Malaysia. So anyway, so you got to consider all this. Most people, like Miss Hartini, will go to the polling booth on that day, get a little black strip or whatever color, and says, I need to decide for my future, my anger, my children's future. And most people, wisely or unwisely, I wouldn't say either way, will decide on Dutching because they're proven. Right? I'm not going to appeal for either side. I'm going to ask you to consider when you decide to vote, and you can ask me questions for this later, don't decide in anger. Calculate everything. If you want to give a chance to a new government, go ahead, because it can't be any worse than the current government. Really, we have reached rock bottom. I've seen rock bottom governments. I worked in Nepal, I worked in East Timor, I worked in Indonesia, I worked in Pakistan. I know rock bottom, I have seen it. I've gone even below rock bottom to see it. I worked in countries where there are no governments. Right? We can't go any lower than this. Right? Any lower, you get 1,500 premium if you earn 5,000 and below. Thank you very much.